Hey everyone, I am Jerry Fisaya Bambi. Welcome to Inspire Africa. On this episode, we talk about energy needs and some solutions. We hear stories from the Republic of Congo and in Rwanda. And later, we speak with Letsoalo, a young South African entrepreneur and founder of Masodi Organics.
We're getting to a place where I'm seeing so many dark-skinned black women, being recognized for their beauty, not necessarily recognizing their own beauty, because I think they did.
This is Inspire Africa. The Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, indicates that around 90% of the wood removed from the forest and woodlands in Africa are used as fuel. 29% of that is converted into charcoal, which is bad for climate change. In Congo, Destin Bimbila wants to change that in a way that protects the environment.
For the inhabitants of this popular district in Pointe-Noire, the Republic of Congo, this is a public dump. Before Destin Bimbila, it is a reserve of raw materials. This trained electrician has invested in the production of ecological coal from household waste. Once a week, he and his team go out into the streets looking for all kinds of rubbish to produce about 1.5 tons of biocharcoal.
The source of biogas stems from the global challenges we have: poverty and climate change. In poverty, we found the problem of energy. So we thought of giving an energy alternative to the Congolese population first, and then to the world, perhaps.
Paper, organic and agricultural waste, these are the treasures Destin's workers collect and sort before putting them in the oven to be processed.
Once it's carbonized, we get several dimensions. We'll say size. So we proceed to grinding. Once it's ground, we move on to mixing it with additives. Once we have mixed the ground raw material with the additives, we go on to the molding, and we have 3 shapes. Once we have these shapes, we move on to drying, a natural drying in the sun.
This tricycle, donated by the UNDP, is used to deliver his organic charcoal to the 4 corners of the city. After investing his own funds, Destin Bimbila is now knocking on every door to increase his biocharcoal production and extend his distribution circuit outside of Congo. It seems that his efforts are about to pay off.
The government has set up the paddock program, and this is a project to support and accompany businesses and competitiveness. We've asked Mr. Bimbila to put together his file so that he could present it and benefit from this fund so that he could develop his business.
Under the label of his small and medium-sized company, Wumela Bio, Destin Bimbila was awarded the Innovation 2020 prize at the Salon du Made in Congo, initiated by an organization responsible for rewarding innovative ideas in the country.
His project is interesting because it allows us to participate in the preservation of our forests. We know very well that the manufacture of charcoal has been the cause of the decimation of many trees, particularly in the Pool region.
90% of households in Congo use charcoal for cooking. To limit the harmful effects of this activity on the environment, Destin Bimbila intends to strike a deal with the municipal services to coordinate the distribution of waste from households. Because that way, the waste of some can become biofuel for others.
Still talking energy, we go now to Rwanda, where one man is taking advantage of his village's flowing stream water to light up people's homes.
Much of rural Rwanda is not connected to the power grid. The mountainous terrain also means transmission lines rarely go beyond urban centers, and yet villagers need to charge their phones and to light their homes. That's how Clever Bizimungu, a resident of Rongi sector, thought of a plan to help his community. Using a locally made hydraulic turbine, he generates electricity by tapping a stream that flows down the valley through his village. I looked at the conditions me and my fellow village residents were living in, and I realized it was time for a change. I wanted us to have light at night, so one doesn't have to travel long distances just to charge a mobile phone. That's how I came to start up this initiative. I started fetching water from the stream and used the hydroelectric generator to produce power. Bizimungu's ingenuity has helped power his home and small businesses in 2 neighboring villages. Life has also improved for the residents who don't have to pause when the sun sets. When we got access to electricity, that was when I finally decided to purchase a mobile phone. My children benefit a lot too, as they can now carry out night studies. Clever's power initiative has also made it easy for me to carry out my business and support my family. We used to go almost a week without listening to the radio. But ever since we got access to electricity, our radios work and we stay updated. Bizimungu's project currently generates 12 kilowatts per hour. Households pay a monthly fee for the service. In future, he hopes to increase his generation capacity to supply 300 homes. Rwanda's national electrification rate was estimated at 30% in 2020.
If you're just joining us, you are watching Inspire Africa with me, Jerry Fisaya Bambi. Now, South Africa's Liz Letsoalo, an industrial engineer by background with a 5-year experience in the corporate world, ditched all of that to start off Masodi Organics. Our aim is to shift beauty standards globally. She joins me now from Johannesburg, South Africa. Welcome, Liz. First off, industrial engineer, TEDx speaker on the politics of power, and now you are in the beauty and cosmetic business. Why? How come? Tell us.
Thank you so much for having me, Jerry. I'm very excited to share the story. I can never talk about the story of Masodi Organics without talking about the story of an entity called Good Hair. Good Hair was an organization the first business that I started with 2 of my friends, Ija Ogwang and Sandisi Weyengeni. Based on where we were at the time just wasn't right. For us to start and sustain a successful business. It didn't succeed. What was left in me was the yearning for more. I left from the business feeling, that there's definitely more. And what I then decided to do was to go and start this beauty products business called Masodi Organics, named after the most important woman and impactful woman in my life, my mother.
How would you describe this industry and the seeming preference or demand for foreign products?
I think this industry is fast evolving. If you just look at South Africa on its own, there's so many Black women starting to start businesses like Masodi Organics, doing so well for themselves. Is that from a consumer perspective, we're starting to see a shift in mindset, a shift in preference, a shift in perception on how they look at products that are home brewed, if you want to call it that, and how they actually interact with them. There's a sense of respect that you get. I mean, the language is changing from we're supporting Black businesses to we're buying local because local is actually quality.
40% of African women regularly use skin lightening or bleaching creams, according to the WHO. And it is estimated that 1 in every 3 South African women use these products. What do you make of this?
If you look at how our world is structured, proximity to whiteness is rewarded. Whiteness in totality is absolutely rewarded. First of all, I must say I recognize skin lightening and skin bleaching and hair straightening and as a socio-economic decision to make, which I respect. Second of all, I think that work is slowly being undone, and we need to have some patience with what it takes to undo something that was done for centuries and for generations, right? I'm glad that we're getting to a place where I'm seeing so many dark-skinned Black women, being recognized for their beauty, not necessarily recognizing their own beauty, because I think they did, being recognized by other people for their own beauty.
Do you see yourself or business as a change agent?
Absolutely. Activists have been talking about the issue of colorism, the issue of just white supremacy. Other beauty businesses have actually been as well at the forefront of communicating beauty more ethically and more thoughtfully. I am, of course, one of the players in this game who is adamant that we want to change, the beauty standards. We want to make everyone feel reflected, in the beauty standards that we portray on our social media, in our communications, on whatever imaging that we show. But also we want everyone to get to a point where they do not feel that their form of beauty is not enough, while respecting people's choice of what they do with their bodies.
Thank you very much, Liz, for sharing your thoughts with us on the beauty business in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's where we draw the curtain on this episode of Inspire Africa. You can see it again by going to africanews.com/programs. You can also send us your thoughts on the stories to the address that you find right there on your screen. I am Jerry Fisayo Bambi, and I'm leaving you with some of the images that caught our attention on social media. I'll see you some other time. Bye.
A picture of elated faces of some women in Johannesburg on Africa Day. A street scene in Sudan showing Ottoman ruins, as seen on @Everyday Sudan. And a woman with her 2 children in Ghana, described as a mother's allure.